Welcome to East Bridgewater High School as the BR Trojans get set to open up the 2021 fall season against the Duxbury Dragons. I am John Luck with Brian Berard. This season provides a lot of questions that we'll certainly learn the answers to as we go along. But Brian, the first question is, why are we here in East Bridgewater? The answer to that is very easy. They are replacing the turf over at the BR High School football field, so BR will be the home team here. And they'll be the home team in a couple weeks when they also play. Not sure if it's going to be on the road in Taunton, somewhere else, but we'll certainly let you know there. The other question we have is, well, regarding the person calling the plays, and that is Lou Pacheco taking over for Dan Bjaron. And Brian, when we look at the coaching staff of the BR Trojans, we know about the story of the pipeline when you go from the Bridgewater Badgers, the Raynham Giants, all the way up to the BSU Bears in some cases. These are coaches that a lot of the players are familiar with, so Lou Pacheco shouldn't be too much of an adjustment, right?
No, I wouldn't imagine that he's going to be too much of an adjustment. I mean, Raynham guy, he's familiar with the program. I mean, and you said, John, that even sometimes Bridgewater State, and a lot of times they also go to Mass Maritime. I mean, the Cranberry Bowl sometimes just goes through BR as well. So I don't think there's going to be an adjustment as far as getting to know him. The offense, the defense, obviously, the play calling, that's going to be quite different. That, you know, hopefully, because we saw under Coach Dan Bjaron a lot of run, you know, pound and ground. I'm sure it's still going to stick with that theme, but we were watching the QBs, John, warming up in pregame, and they were slinging the ball, so hopefully we see them air it out just a little bit more.
And there you see Lou Pacheco there in the middle of your screen, getting set for his first game as head coach of the BR varsity team. And for the football team, while the starting quarterback, Nolan DeAndre, continuing on from what he did back in the spring, the fact that the BR Trojans, along with a lot of other teams in Massachusetts, played spring football, are we going to see that maybe help them in this true fall season, because it kind of gave them that spring football that we see in some cases with some of the college programs?
Oh, absolutely. You know, going from spring and then right into summer ball and right now into fall, I mean, absolutely, that's going to be huge. You pretty much had a continuous year of playing football. That's going to be a huge help. I mean, now, of course, in the spring they played under Dan Bjaron, and over the summer they had transitioned over to Lou Pacheco, but still, having the ability to play in the spring is massive. And you played legitimate football games in the springs. I mean, I know they have captain's practice, maybe a scrimmage here and there, but to play legitimate games and have Thanksgiving 2.0 that they had against Brockton in the spring, I mean, that's huge to play. And then come back out here in the fall and play real football. And not that it was fake football, but you didn't have a state championship, you didn't have a sectional championship, unlike some other sports did. So for the spring sports, I should say. So, of course, it's a huge advantage. But, of course, Duxbury got to do that same advantage, got to get that same advantage, too.
And you talk about Duxbury, we don't need to go in too much to the headlines. Of course, if you saw the local news earlier in the spring, then you know why they are with a new head coach here, David Marin, out as the head coach. And they do have a new head coach in Matt Landolfi. He did coach a good portion of the Fall 2 schedule. And when I look at a team like Duxbury, I think that Fall 2 schedule, we talk about helping BR and molding some of these younger players. A new coach, a lot of new players for Duxbury, maybe they benefited a little more from that Fall 2 impromptu schedule, if you will.
Absolutely. You get to have some more playing time under a new coach, and now coming into the fall, you're going to be ready. I mean, unlike, like you said, BR had Dan Bjorn as their coach back in the spring.
So Duxbury will receive the opening kickoff here. James Anderson and Brady Madigan awaiting the kick. And spring football is good and all, but I like fall football. And tonight we actually have a fall feel in the air. Right now, temperatures in the low to mid 60s. That'll dip down into probably low 50s or mid 50s by the time we're done here.
Yeah, it is football weather. Usually, the colder it is, it's more football weather for the guys up front. I mean, I don't think a lot of the receivers and running backs like cold weather, like the warmer environments, and as the quarterbacks do. But you get colder, and that's when you say the real football weather for the big uglies up front.
I mean, I'm built like a lineman, so I kind of feel their pain.
There you go. Of course, we want to give a huge shout out here to the staff here at East Bridgewater for allowing this game to be played at East Bridgewater Junior Senior High School. Without them, we don't know where this game is going to really be played. So our thanks go out to East Bridgewater and their staff for allowing this game to happen here.
A new era of BR football is underway, and that is Colin Crinlin, who got the opening kickoff there off one of the Dragons' fingertips. And this will be where we see the Duxbury offense starting out at their own 37-yard line. And the starting quarterback, Matt Festa, a junior quarterback, a very talented quarterback, had a great showing against Scituate back in April. 23 of 31, 384 yards, and 3 touchdowns. A 3-receiver look for the Dragons. As the light's starting to come on here in East Bridgewater. Alex Barlow, the motion man. This will be a QB keep by Festa, taking it straight through the middle. Will get pulled down across the 45-yard line. Looks like that was number 9, Alexander Mantalos on the stop.
Yeah, faked that. Barlow coming there on the sweep and already hurrying up.
Again, Barlow, the motion man, gets the ball. And he'll be stopped for a short loss. That's going to be Michael Rubo with the pull down.
Yeah, Rubo coming off the edge there to seal it. Just take a look at the replay here. That's an excellent open field tackle for him to keep it at third down and not keep the sticks moving.
So that'll be a loss of 2 on the play. Brings up a 3rd and 4. Anderson on the left of Festa. Anderson gets the 3rd down carry, and he's going to get just enough for the 1st down, leans forward.
There's an opportunity there to stuff him. Take a look at the replay. Logan Johnson had the opportunity to bring him down for a stop and bring 4th down. Able to evade that tackle.
Chris Welsh lining up on the far side of the screen for the Dragons. We have a new set of downs just shy of BR territory. Festa dropped back,
wide
and
open.
That is going to be caught, and just like that, Brady Madigan puts the Dragons on the board first.
52-yard touchdown pass. Madigan just got behind everyone in the secondary, and he was wide open.
Regardless of the coach, this Dragons offense is nothing to sneeze at. They can score points very easily.
And Bridgewater-Raynham came out with an all-out blitz, too. And, you know, Duxbury, that whole drive, 3-4 receiver sets. It's the extra point. It's right down the middle, it looks like. 3-4 wide receiver sets. You're spreading out that defense there, and that's why you had that threat to run up the middle. Bridgewater-Raynham brought a lot of that pressure up the middle, but it got right behind the secondary there, John, wide open.
So just like that, a Festa to Madigan 52-yard connection puts the Dragons up top 7-0. Less than a minute and a half into this game.
Let's see if Bridgewater-Raynham can answer right here as the wind starts to pick up just a little bit.
The Trojans is Zachary Marvel, Zachary Victor, and Alexander Mantalos. Awaiting this kick from Sullivan.
The wind picking up, going from right to left on the screen.
A brief delay, Sullivan sends it end over end, and it'll roll back out for a touchback.
I don't think they were expecting the wind to quite take that kick.
So now here comes the Trojans offense that we don't really know what to expect. Obviously, when we talk about a Bridgewater offense, the quick go-to is the running game, but as we saw in the warm-ups, the quarterbacks here can certainly distribute the ball very well, as we see, looks like that's Declan Byrne calling out the play for the BR offense.
We saw Declan Byrne too pregame, John. He was slinging the ball. He was throwing it with ease and distance as well.
Henny lines up on the near side for the Trojans, and the first offensive play of the season is going to be a handoff up the middle for a short gain, if anything. That was Arubo with the carry, it looks like.
Short carry by the Trojans will bring up 2nd and 9.
PR showing a 3-receiver look here as a sophomore quarterback plays on the shotgun.
Don't see that from Bridgewater-Raynham too often.
Byrne rolls to the far side and throws it away to bring up 3rd and 9.
Shotgun formation with the running back to his left. I don't think we ever saw that. Take a look on the replay there. I could probably count on one hand the amount of times I ever saw a shotgun snap out of Bridgewater-Raynham in all my 10+ years of calling these games.
Even a 5-receiver look, we only thought that was like a folklore type of thing, but we did see that a couple times last year.
It's a 3rd and 9, obvious passing situation. I'm sure Duxbury's going to drop into a zone right by the first down marker.
Again, Henny on the near side. 9:47 to go, and here is the pitch to Rubo. And Rubo will pick up a few extra yards, but still going to be well short of the first down.
Interesting play call on 3rd and 9. Strong formation, goes with the pitch to the outside. Take a look at the replay here. Interesting play call on 3rd and 9.
After the 3-yard pickup, we are going to kick it away on 4th down. And we get a timeout
By Duxbury.
early on by Duxbury.
Yeah, John, going back to that 3rd down play, like as I said right before, I said obvious passing situation. Of course, they pitch it, but I'm just I know sometimes on a 3rd down and long, a run play can be very effective because you're expecting the defense to be in pass protection. But with only 2 receivers and you had the whole line stacked up, it wasn't hard for Duxbury to figure out really what was going on. I mean, we just saw too with the previous play with the shotgun formation and 3 receivers. You'd figure maybe if you're going to run with multiple receivers to spread out that defense a little bit.
Mandalos with a high kick, almost blocked.
Oh, there's a flag.
This might be running into the kicker.
Let's see what this is.
This could be a huge penalty.
I think they're just going to give him running into the kicker, which would be 4th and 1. Down the offense to get on the field. Well, that was a lucky break there. We'll take a look at the replay here. Oh, yeah, 17. Yeah. Woo! Finn Carley. Can't be doing that.
Coming up on about 3 minutes gone in the first quarter. Hand off to Rubo, and Rubo straight through the middle, pick up about 3 on the play. And Brian, getting back to that 3rd and long situation we keep bringing up, and maybe something we can talk about later on, but is this a situation here where you're letting Declan Byrne kind of work his way into this offense? Because don't forget, he is a sophomore quarterback, so try and let him figure out some of these situations as he goes.
Yeah, but also on 2nd down, they had that shotgun formation rolled out to his left, and he had to throw the ball away. I will say, though, early on, though, this Duxbury defensive line is doing a good job of keeping this BR offensive running attack at bay.
Branny catches it shy of midfield. And bring up a 3rd and 2.
First completed catch, or pass, I should say, from either team. Get the touchdown, John. I didn't mark it in my drive sheet.
It's okay. One of us is paying attention, Brian. We'll
you know what?
It
was the offseason for both of us, too, John.
After 10 years, we got to start working this out here. Rubo's going to get stopped short of the first down marker. The ball did come out, still on the ground, but it looks like BR is going to recover. Thankfully, that's going to be Nolan DeAndre, the former quarterback, falling on the ball and saving what could have been a bad situation for the BR offense.
Take a look at the replay. His knee looked like, well, obviously we don't get replay in high school, but it looked like his knee was, in fact, down. But there's been a couple of times where Rubo's been trying to fight for a couple extra yards, and eventually, if you're Duxbury, you're going to see that, and you're going to try and punch the ball out.
And as you mentioned, the wind is blowing from the right side of the screen across to the left, so this is a situation here where BR is going to be kicking into the wind.
Oh, and he just kicked a knuckleball up there.
Takes a Duxbury bounce, and the Dragons will start out from their own 45-yard line, looking to continue the offensive success they had last time out, which was a 52-yard touchdown pass to Madigan. Duxbury, their first time out, were very deliberate as far as their offensive momentum. Just drove that ball down the field with ease almost at times.
Another 3-receiver set. Let's see if Barlow keeps coming over for a play action. Not this time.
Anderson straight through the middle, across midfield into BR territory up to the 47-yard line. So a pickup of 8. As Festa looks over to the bright orange hats for the play calls. And again, the give is to Anderson, and he may have just enough for the first down.
Both linesmen are right at the yard to gain. They are going to give it to him, though. Take a look at the replay. This is just pure will right here. I mean, there's really nothing that Evan Thrasher could do. He just hung on, still just ran right over him.
Three receivers set for the Dragons. Festa will complete this pass over to Bowman Rhinesmith. Rhinesmith to the near side, and he will get pushed out. I believe DeAndre with the initial push.
Rhinesmith, good size on him too. Just a quick little out route right there. He had blockers downfield from your receivers, did what he needed to do.
Looks like about a 14-yard pickup.
First down on back-to-back plays.
Ryan Smith on the near side, Festa in the shotgun. And Festa will go on the run here, picking up a few yards and slides in before getting hit by number 22. It looks like that's Michael Buron.
Again, Logan Johnson there had a hand on him.
So 14 yards rushing for Festa already. Gonna pick up some passing yards here, completes it over to Ryan Smith, who will get the first down with these.
Again, BR bringing pressure here, and it's not quite getting there in time. And Festa's, they run a quick out route. Receiver's going to look, turn around pretty much right away and look for the ball.
Dragons with 3 receivers to the top of the screen, and the handoff goes to Anderson, who gets tripped up. Looks like that was Nathan Thrasher there on the trip.
First trip into the red zone for either team. Great protection from the offensive line.
Festa has all the time to throw. He will complete that one. Was he in bounds is the question. He was. Chris Walsh with a touchdown reception.
That was an absolute great job from Festa, rolling out to his right, finding any sort of space that he can. See a look on the replay. The offensive line there from the Dragons doing a phenomenal job. Can't place it any better than that.
19-yard reception of Chris Walsh, and with these, Duxbury up 13-0. They get 14.
There was my pencil. The whole night is ruined.
I mean, you had 2 pencils to choose from. Apparently you chose the wrong one. But Brian, looking at this Duxbury team, I mean, it's just difficult, I would think, defensively to try and plan for, because most teams that BR faces, there's one part of the game that they like to show a little more. But Duxbury, they've showed the running game, they've showed the passing game, and both have been very well succeeded by.
Well, it's just the 3 receiver set that Duxbury has, spreading out this BR defense here too, and you don't know really where the offense is going to be coming from. And that first drive, Barlow just kept coming on motions. This second drive that Duxbury just had no motion. So you don't know what motion they're going to do. You don't know who they're going to really attack. And Festa, who has the ability, as we saw a couple times, be able to take off and run and extend a play like that, that is hard. And Bridgewater-Raynham tried to bring some pressure on a few plays, and it didn't get to Festa in time because they were doing such quick routes.
That one's going to be fumbled by Mantalos, and Mantalos is in trouble working his way across the 10.
So that last drive for Duxbury, 7 plays, and they got 3 first downs also in that drive. Nearly 50% of their plays were first downs, and of course topped off with Walsh's 19-yard TD reception.
So here comes Declan Burnout for his second offensive possession. And Brian, is there anything in particular you're looking for from Byrne as far as his game management here, because the first drive looks like he was having some success. There were some bumps in the road, obviously.
Well, they're really trying to have a running attack go up the middle here, and this Duxbury defensive line is doing a phenomenal job, and it's just not working here. I'd like to see that shotgun formation again here from the Trojans.
That was Rubo with the carry for a loss of 1.
I mean, eventually you have to realize that running up the middle hasn't quite worked in your favor. You're going to have to change things up. I know they did try to go with a pitch to the outside on that 3rd and 9. It didn't quite work out. But again, you have 2 receiver set. You have so many guys in the box. You're going to have 8, 9 guys in the box, and running up the middle just...
Byrne getting chased.
Excellent block.
Throwing on the run, and that is going to be picked off. Campbell Payne taking it back the other way, and he's going to take this one to the house.
I mean, it was a great block on the edge there for the Trojans to prevent the sack, but the throw just way short. Take a look at the replay. Great block by Rubo there just to identify it and just throw.
Sullivan on for the PAT, and he is 3 for 3. And the Dragons jump out to a 21-0 lead.
Well, obviously not the start that they had in mind, but you know, you have a new quarterback coming in. I don't know if necessarily throwing deep downfield on the run is the first play that they wanted to try to attempt there. Now, of course, Duxbury brought some pressure, and I will give credit where credit is due. I mean, Rubo with a fantastic block to prevent the sack there. But again, just rolling on the, throwing on the run and, throwing into the wind too wasn't the tightest of spirals. Of course, a little bit of that wind is going to hold the ball up just a little bit. And it was enough for Pang to get the 49-yard pick 6. If I'm Lou Pacheco too, I mean, go with the go with the pass play from the first play. Make sure that Byrne knows that he has the support, and here we go.
This is Marvel, and Marvel charges his way to the 45-yard line.
That's what Bridgewater-Raynham needed. They just needed a break, and we got it right here on the kickoff return. Great blocks, found the seam right up the middle, followed his leading blocker. Phenomenal job. That was Mantelos there, his leading blocker. Now Bridgewater-Raynham with a short field.
Could that be the jolt that BR needs early on, down by 3 scores? Could be something just as simple as a nice return by Zachary Marvel.
Like I said, I would love if they threw it here on the first play just to let Declan Byrne know that they have the confidence in him.
First down, here's a carry up to the 45, and
this Duxbury defensive line is no joke, John. They are unstoppable right now.
As Rubo picking up the short yard.
Now, if you're going to keep doing 2 receiver sets, they're going to keep stacking the box. And if you're going to run at that line, it looks like the Dragons defensive line is having no issues so far, John.
DeAndre lining up on the far side. Byrne looking at DeAndre. That one's going to go in and out of his hands.
Yeah, he was looking DeAndre the whole way. Looks like it was supposed to be a quick out. He was looking to throw. You could just tell he just kept holding it and holding it. He wanted to throw, and I think he was waiting for DeAndre to come out of that cut.
And watching the warm-ups, that was something you kept pointing out, the fact that the receivers basically would wait for the quarterback to turn around and basically just say, here, throw it right here in my hands.
Yeah, I was saying that. You're right, John. I was saying, you know, you should be throwing it before he even turns. You know, if you're a receiver coming out of that turn, you should expect the ball to be right there. Again, shotgun formation, 4-receiver set. I love this.
Byrne is going to get taken down, but there is a flag on the play.
That might be in the area of holding, and it is.
Taken down by Henry Wine of the Dragons.
Would you have to decline that to bring up the 4th down?
That's going to be Brady Madigan waiting the kick here. Right now, not a lot of wind blowing at East Bridgewater. Strong kick that takes a Trojans roll, and this may be Duxbury's worst starting position of the night inside of their 25.
25-yard line, only 1st and 10.
If you're Duxbury, just keep doing what you're doing. Air out the ball. Bridgewater-Raynham hasn't found a way to stop it yet. And there's a reason why Max Preps has them ranked number 2 in their division.
Dragon, for a long time, had been a dangerous team. I believe going back to 2005, I think they had 4 undefeated seasons, including a couple of state titles.
And every Thanksgiving they play Marshfield. It's always a great game.
Vesta on 1st down is going to throw that one. Almost intercepted by DeAndre, who's matched up step for step with Bowman Rhinesmith.
Take a look right here. He was trying to lead him, underthrew it just a little bit. I mean, even if he was able to connect with him, I think he was going to be tackled.
The first incompletion of the night for Matt Vesta.
Let's see what BR can do here. If they can force a 3rd and long, that'll be huge for this defense and maybe get even better field position. See if the Trojans can get back on the board, but it all starts right here. This is a big play.
2nd down carry goes to Devin Toby, who will pick up about 3 or 4 on the play to bring up a 3rd and 6.
And 4-yard gain. Again, the Duxbury offensive line, they're doing a good job, too, creating holes.
At this point in the first quarter, you don't know if you want to say it, but this is probably one of the biggest plays of the game coming up here for the Trojans defense down 21.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, if Duxbury goes up 28-0 here, and I know there's a minute left here in the first quarter, but if they go up 28-0 in the first quarter, it's you really have to kind of shrink your offensive playbook if you're the Trojans going forward.
Vesta, well protected. That is going to be complete for the 1st down across the 45 to Madigan.
Duxbury is the completion, is the 1st down. It'll be 1st and 10 from the 46.
Again, Duxbury kind of attacking the sidelines here against this Trojans defense.
Inside of the final minute to go, Duxbury showing a 4-receiver set. Vesta, incomplete.
Yeah, just trying to get away. Bridgewater-Raynham bringing a lot of pressure.
Looks like for a second there may be some confusion as far as the Duxbury play call. As Vesta is just going to take this by himself. May have been a broken play, but nonetheless brings up a 3rd and long, and there may be some extra time for Matt Landolfi to think this one through as we approach the end of the first.
Yeah, this right here, these last couple plays here for the Trojans defense have been their best pretty much all night. Maybe they are going to try and sneak one out. I don't think they should. I don't think they're going to. 2 seconds left. Yeah, and they're just going to walk towards the sideline. I mean, what you said, John, I mean, this Duxbury team is for real. Like I said, there's a reason why Max Prep has them ranked as the #2 team in their division. All right? We just saw it for the first 3 drives. They've scored touchdowns. Well, I know there's a pick 6, but, I mean, pretty much any time Duxbury's touched the ball, they've scored. All right? And we're looking at this Trojans defense. They're struggling to, cover downfield, especially towards the sidelines. That's something that Lou Pacheco definitely has to look at going forward.
And I want to ask you about the scheduling here for the BR Trojans. A very tough schedule. I don't have the full 2021 schedule in front of me, but I do know they play Zavarian coming up in a couple of weeks. And as far as the MIAA football playoffs go, I think the strength of schedule is something that really figures into this new seeding format for how teams are chosen to qualify for the playoffs.
We know it was based off the point system, and of course now they're transitioning over to the Max Prep system as well. So that's why every time when we saw Dan Buren play, he always wanted to play the best teams. I mean, every year Bridgewater-Raynham would be in the Division 1A or 2 or whatever they decided to rename the division. I feel like they changed the number and letters every single year. But he always wanted to play the Zavarians, the St. John's Preps. He wanted to play the Duxburys, the Marshfields. He wanted to play the elite teams. Even though every year BR would come into the tournament or the South Sectional as the 8th seed, they would always go to Natick and beat them. They'd go to Mansfield, beat them, go to Wellesley and beat them. And of course, like the couples games against King Philip when they were in the middle of their dominant run. But that's the benefit of playing a massive schedule and these huge teams, like you said, the Zavarian, the St. John's Preps.
Vesta's going to throw on 3rd down, incomplete, and almost intercepted. That hit the turf, but nonetheless, a huge play there for the BR defense.
Tight coverage by number 12, Ryan Brahenny. Almost picked off. It'll be 4th down, 4th and 10.
That was nearly picked off by number 4, Zachary Victor. But nonetheless, brings up 4th down. Vesta's still out there.
Interesting going for it. Foot on the gas pedal, though. Push the issue. Also May trying to get them to jump. I'll get you 5 yards, but
Duxbury may have jumped. Nothing going, though, as Vesta is going to throw an interception.
I mean, that's almost as good as a punt, though. Had they punted, yeah, would the Trojans maybe be back 20 extra yards? Yeah, maybe, but you also don't know if Bridgewater-Raynham could have got a return out of this as well. Look at that, out of nowhere. Just says, thank you very much.
Victor almost had an interception early on, has one now.
Trojans will start offense, 1st and 10 from the 41.
In a 3-score game, could that be the turning point the Trojans offense needs to get some offensive momentum? Francis was in motion. Byrne gets sacked.
So I think BR, if they really do want to get a passing attack going here, we'll take a look at the replay. It's going to have to be quick passes.
Trojans showing more of a traditional offensive setup here. Split receivers. DeAndre on the near side. Byrne is going to pick up a few yards, but gets ripped down. Looks like the initial stop there by number 53, David Condon.
So, John, just to go back when you were saying that the schedule, of course, you said Zavarian at Barnstable. They'll host St. John's Prep. We still don't know exactly where that game is going to be played, as you said. BR is redoing their turf. They'll go to Durfee, host New Bedford. They'll go to Dartmouth. I actually like this game. They're going to go play at Middleborough. And I know you're saying, Middleborough, why are you playing Middleborough? They are a state champion from a couple of years ago. And it's a local team. The Middleborough football is on the up.
And you have to imagine with some of these more local matchups, we see here with Brockton on Thanksgiving, the fact that you can get the road fans a little more access, as Byrne is going to have to throw this one away. Throws for desperation, throws it into the Duxbury bench, but we're starting to see a little more geographical matchups here because it doesn't really make much sense when you have a team like BR going up to, call it Gloucester, if you will, making those long trips, because the same could be said for a lot of teams here in southeastern Massachusetts.
Well, that's the big thing with BR, now that the old Colony League is done, the Southeast Conference, pretty much with, Dartmouth and BR joining the Big Three, which is huge because you gain those extra conference games. And everyone knew that was going to happen. I mean, pretty much the Big Three and the OCL always played each other in every other sport anyway, so it only made sense. Woo, look at this punt.
Woo! Strong kick into the wind, into the jet stream, who knows, but that was a fair catch called by Madigan.
Now let's see how Duxbury does going into the wind. We're going to find out, was the wind really a factor? I mean, not for that running game. I mean, that Duxbury defensive line didn't matter where the wind was going. They were going to stop them. But how is Duxbury's passing attack going to look now that they're going into the wind?
Well, listen to the last few throws that Festa has had going back to the first quarter. Incomplete pass, a 20-yard pickup, incomplete pass, and an interception by Zachary Victor. Of course, one of the first plays of the game was a Festa to Madigan 52-yard connection. But the Dragons right now, starting from their own 12.
Was wind died down just a little bit as Barlow, just like in that first drive that we saw, coming in over the sweep. Take a look at the replay. There he is. A little sloppy on the handoff.
And again, Victor getting his name in the defense. Again, Festa in the backfield has Anderson on his left. Anderson gets the ball, and the Duxbury offensive line giving more than enough room to get the first down for the senior running back.
Well, that's when you do the 3-4 wide receiver set. You're spreading out that Bridgewater-Raynham defense. You're not allowing them to put 8 or 9 guys in the box.
Hinesmith on the near side, coming up on 8.5 to go in the first half. That's a quick pass over to Anderson. And Anderson makes a move at the 30 and gets tripped up right around the 31-yard line.
Anderson right out of the backfield. No one picked him up. Actually, that may have been backwards. But regardless, a 6-yard pickup.
The 6th carry of the night for James Anderson. Festa, a deep throw, and that is going to be knocked away. I think DeAndre might have had a chance to get into the hands there of, I believe that was Madigan who was the intended receiver.
Good defensive break off the Trojans. Good defensive play. It brings up 3rd down. Trojans looking to hold for 3rd and 4.
Another big play here for this Trojans defense.
Festa getting rushed, has to throw that away because there was some pressure coming there from number 9, Mantalos.
He was unblocked coming off the edge. Take a look. It's going to come late in the scene here, but look at that. Just like he was shot out of a cannon. Looks like Duxbury's going to do the punt formation here. A little too far on your own end. Of course, now the wind has died down as of right now. See what this punt looks like.
Victor and Marvel awaiting this kick.
Ooh, off the side of the foot.
Not a good kick.
Right off the side of his foot.
When a coach has to take cover, it's not exactly the best kick.
Number 35, Mahina Bossi into the backfield quickly, able to get off. Bad punt, going to start. Bridgewater-Raynham Trojans, first and 10 from the 40.
How about this starting position here for a BR offense who's looking for any sort of offensive momentum to take with them into the second half?
Well, it starts right there. Your defense is able to get a stop. Let's see if this momentum will transfer over to the offense. I mean, these two receiver sets here for the Trojans and trying to run up the middle, it just hasn't worked all night. And you have to devise some sort of formation where you get three receivers. Just do exactly what Duxbury's been doing to you and spread out that defense, because if they're going to keep stacking the box, they're going to do it again right here. I know they have a fullback here, but it just hasn't worked all night.
For Henny and DeAndre, the receivers, handoff goes to Rubo, and Rubo went inside for a short pickup of about a yard or so.
And on that 3rd and 9, we talked early in the first quarter, was the only time they really ran to the outside on that pitch.
Relatively young BR Trojans football team opening up a 2021 season here at East Bridgewater High School. Just under 7 minutes to go in the first half. Here's Byrne. He's going to throw, and that is going to be caught by Prahenny across the 35-yard line.
So BR, with the score and where they are on the field, is most likely in 4-down territory, unless if this is a sack that loses a bunch of yards. If it's incomplete or if they don't get a first down here, they're going to have to go for it, John, on 4th down. I mean, the momentum's finally starting to creep into your favor. You can claw back into this game. If you score a touchdown here, it's a new game.
Trojans faithful getting behind their team. 6 minutes to go in the half. A handoff to Bieron straight up the middle. And a couple yards shy of the first down. So it's going to bring up a big 4th down here for Lou Pacheco.
And they're going to go for it. The fullback dive there. Take a look. Quick hitter. So they're both 4th and a long 2. See what they go with. I mean, Byrne is a mobile quarterback, and maybe try and play action, roll out, see if he can get it with his legs if a passing play fails.
Rubo in the backfield. And we get a timeout called by Lou Pacheco.
I think he wanted to see what Duxbury was going to line up with. I don't think they were really trying to get him to jump, because that was kind of a quick timeout. I think he just wanted to see how Duxbury was going to line up there defensively. Just over 5 minutes left. Again, momentum starting to creep towards the Trojan side, John.
And you go back to how this drive started, and it was the awkward kick by Duxbury on 4th down. So Duxbury actually kind of helping BR in this situation, but as you mentioned, just those small plays, that small run by Bieron on 3rd down, certainly helped open up that playbook a little more, I'd imagine, for Lou Pacheco coaching his first game here at BR.
Yeah, absolutely, and I said too, when we switch sides here going into the 2nd quarter, now Bridgewater-Raynham going with the wind at their back, Duxbury have been going into the wind, may have played a part in that 1st quarter. Again, though Bridgewater-Raynham wasn't able to get any sort of running attack going. But now that Duxbury had to try and get a passing attack going into the wind, we saw some underthrown balls, interception.
It's been all Dragons in this first half. BR looking to change that, though, on this 4th and 2 play coming up. So it looks like it'll be Braheny actually in the shotgun here.
They're going to 4 receiver set.
Rubo also in the backfield.
All the receivers have space, too.
The sophomore getting blitzed is going to throw that away, incomplete. A big defensive stand there by the Dragons on 4th down.
Take a look. All 4 receivers had space, too, and the play just took too long to develop. You only needed 2 yards to get the first down. Maybe one could have ran like a quick hitter towards the sideline, but it's a turnover on downs. See if Duxbury can get some of that momentum back, because the way it looked like every time they touched the ball, they were just scoring at will, and you thought Duxbury was going to run away with this one, and now Trojans defense starting to pick it up a little bit.
It is worth noting here at this juncture of the first half that BR is going to get the ball to open up the second half.
And what do we always say about BR? They're a third quarter team. They love getting that second half kickoff.
Festa is going to slide, ran out of options, and that might have been one of the better options for Festa, who is certainly under some duress.
And finally, that Trojans pressure getting to Festa.
And again, the BR defense buckling down as the Duxbury Dragons continue to lose some ground as Festa got stopped, I should say, there by number 55, Nathan Leach.
And there's that Trojans defensive line starting to get pressure up the middle.
Third and 18 now, facing the Dragons offense.
3 receivers towards the near side.
Festa has all the time, airing out. That is going to be caught to a wide open. Number 5, Chris Walsh had a touchdown and may have had the backbreaker here in the first half.
They found that weak spot in that zone coverage for that Trojans defense. You know, sometimes it happens. You know, you have a 3rd and long, you go into a very soft zone defense.
Clock continues to wind down now, approaching the 3-minute mark.
It's a 38-yard pass.
Festa takes it straight through the middle. At least somebody's here to do math. I couldn't figure that one out too quickly.
The power of calculators.
I think it was a few years ago, Mr. T, when he was a PA announcer, was trying to figure out the yards and just said, do it yourself, figure it out.
John, that's happened to us a couple of times as well.
It was you do the math, apparently. That's the quote.
Well, I mean, there was a couple of times where there was a big play and we just wouldn't say anything because you could just hear the steam coming out of our brains trying to do math. There's a flag on the play.
So if it stands, that'll be a Duxbury Dragons first down. Yeah, we've had some math struggles here.
You could just hear the confusion. The flag was on the far sideline. I don't know if there was a face mask or. It's going to be an offensive hold.
Dragons.
Didn't think it was going to be holds, just judging by where the flag was thrown. If I'm not mistaken, I think that's only the 2nd penalty.
The only other penalty there was the running into the kicker on the Dragons back in the first quarter. Harlow and Walsh on the far side, Madigan on the near side on a 2nd and 8. Festa throws it up, and that is going to be knocked away. DeAndre with the defense.
There's been a couple of jump ball attempts here from Duxbury, and a couple of these throws here from Festa have just been slightly underthrown.
Inside 2 minutes to go. Trojans defense can stand here. They'll have a chance to end the first half on offense. Full receiver set. And Festa has all the time he needs, and that is going to be a catch by the sliding Chris Walsh.
And Trojans, the zone defense, they're finding the holes.
And just like that, the Dragons are running up to the football here inside the 5-yard line.
.24-yard completion.
Seconds continue to tick away here in the first half. Duxbury looking to jump out to a 4-score lead. Festa on the run. Festa with a score.
Just lowered his shoulder.
Matt Festa lowering the boom.
Let me just look at this on the replay.
Oof.
Zachary Marvel.
And the kick is going to be good as it goes into the band. And I guess you could say the band is on the track, but they just got hit by a football. You know, you may look at this game and say it's 28-0, Brian, but this is a very young football team, and there's still a lot of season to play against some very talented football teams. Coming out in the second half, do you expect Lupichico to maybe not look at this as a game to win right now, but maybe just kind of figure some stuff out, try and figure out that playbook with Declan Byrne kind of in a live action scenario?
Yeah, absolutely. You know, the game's still not out of reach. I know that sounds crazy to say, and Duxbury has put up, 4 touchdowns here in the first half. But you do have to figure out some things, and you do have to change up a little bit of the offensive playbook going forward. And I've said it a few times in the first half. I mean, stacking the line and just running up the middle just isn't working. You're going to have to do something to spread out that defense. I know we've seen the full receiver set here a couple times, and some of these passing plays for the Trojans taking a little too long to get set up. A couple of throws from Byrne have been a little bit low. I know he has the arm to do it. They do have to change some things. I would love to see some more runs out of the shotgun with the 3 or 4 receiver set to get a little pooch kick. Ooh, a little bounce. Oh, no. Thought that Duxbury was almost going to recover that. But yeah, going into the second half, I mean, the Trojans are going to have to change the offensive playbook. I mean, you can't just keep going with the power I and running up the middle. It's just not working, John. I don't know how many times I can keep saying it. Look at this bounce, by the way. That's like the softball field I play at. You know, if you're trying to get a ground ball in the infield, sometimes it just bounces right over your head.
Does it bounce over your head?
Yeah, I literally just said that.
Well, I know if you're trying to point out the fact that sometimes you're not maybe the best softball player.
Well, I'm the pitcher, so if it's going over my head, it's usually a line drive going right by my ear.
It's almost like one of those Charlie Brown things. You just see a big blob. So the Trojans offense back on the field here, looking to get some points before we hit the halftime break. And Rubo is going to get stopped in the backfield for about a 4-yard loss. Going inside the final 30 seconds, may get one more play before the break. Henny and DeAndre lining up on the near side. Second down give is to Rubo, and that is how the first half will end for the BR Trojans, who open up the 2021 season, as do the Duxbury Dragons, and the Dragons have jumped out to a 28-0 lead here at halftime in East Bridgewater. Another 24 minutes coming up here on BTV. East Bridgewater as the Duxbury Dragons open up the 2021 season against the BR Trojans with a 28-0 lead. Game set to start the second half. John Luck with Brian Berard. And Brian, when we talk about the first half for this football game, I think we had to start off with the quarterback of Duxbury, Matt Festa, because he has certainly had his way with this BR defense.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, on the ground, he's had a 4-yard touchdown run. In the air, had a 52-yard touchdown pass on the very first drive, and a 19-yard touchdown pass. He's done it all for Duxbury, but I have to give kudos to the offensive and defensive line for the Dragons. They have absolutely installed their will in this game, and the up front for Bridgewater-Raynham, they really can't get anything going. So the front lines for Duxbury have been unbelievable so far.
Also throwing a Campbell Payne pick 6 to make it a 28-0 game. And BR did show some spurts of positive momentum in that first half. They had some crucial 4th down plays that did come up short, but again, we talked about the end of the first half. This may be a second half where this is just BR trying to figure things out for the remainder of the season. Yeah,
absolutely. And like I said, you know, before we went to break here, Trojans are going to have to mix up the offensive playbook here in the second half. As you said, try to figure out some new plays, figure out some new formations, see what works, see what doesn't. I mean, we already saw in the first half pretty much what didn't work, and that was the power I formation running right up the middle.
Looks like that was Ryan Mello who dove on the football at the 38-yard line. And again, we are here in East Bridgewater as the turf is getting worked on over at the high school. And of course, Brian did say it early on, but we do want to certainly thank the East Bridgewater staff for making us feel at home.
And it's an amazing facility that East Bridgewater has here with their new high school that they put in. I mean, just the baseball field that they have right on top of the hill behind this field here. And it's a great facility that they really do have here at East Bridgewater. So we can't thank them enough for allowing us to play the first game of fall football in a couple of years.
Rubo gets the first down carry, going to be stopped shy of the line of scrimmage, and we'll show the video a little bit later on here in the second half. But this place is certain, or I should say this field, is an improvement over the last time BR was here.
Little muddy.
Yep, we will we'll show you that great tape from 15 years ago.
Yeah, John, we don't need a reminder. Cool little video that we'll get to play at the end of the quarter here.
I think we figured out that we've been doing these games together for about
don't need to remind everyone.
More than 10 years.
Yeah, been a while.
Byrne on second down, going to complete the pass over to that's going to be number 11, Daniel Francis, a junior wide receiver. I believe the first time we said his name tonight getting a reception.
See, this is a quick pass. This is what the Trojans really needed to work on. Pasias, excuse me. That was Devin Toby for Duxbury getting the tackle. And the wrong side of the sheet, John.
You know, I've done that before. We've all been there, Brian.
The worst is when you're looking for a number on that side of the sheet. There's no number right there, and you go, oh, geez.
Or you look for a number, and it's not actually there.
That's what I'm saying.
Down. Byrne throws a low pass. That'll be incomplete. So BR is going to punch it away here on 4th down.
There's Ryan Anderson, the pressure there of Byrne.
Number 12, Teddy Massingham, getting involved in the play there. Or excuse me, walking off Rubo. High kick by Mantalos and going relatively deep.
Catch interference, I believe they're going to get on BR.
So Madigan got the ball, and right as he got it, he had a BR Trojan right in his face, and that is something you cannot do.
So yeah, there's a 3-yard halo. I believe it's a 3-yard halo around the punt returner that you have to give him that space. In the NFL, they don't care. Just go for it. Obviously, you can't tackle him, but take a look. Did he call for a fair catch? He did call for a fair catch, and there's your penalty.
Looks like that was Logan Johnson, the guilty party. So here comes the BR defense that has been tested, and there have been some bright spots here tonight. We'll talk about a couple of the players as we look at this defensive front for the BR Trojans. On first down, the carry goes to number 1 Barlow. And he'll get up to around midfield, couple yard shot. Bring up a third and relatively short. Look at
the second down.
Second down. I was looking at the timeout. Still learning scoreboards.
I will say this. I love that the scoreboard's right in front of you. It's great for the announcer. I mean, for the visiting team, not great. But for everyone else.
I mean, I still can't tell what down it is, but now I see it's second and 4.
Like I said, John, we're still rusty ourselves. Ooh. False start, the entire offensive line. Happened in the Buccaneers-Cowboys game. False start, entire offensive line.
I will say it's good to have football back and actually being able to see fans and hear fans coming back in the stadium, even something as small as here at the high school, because look, you go back to the fall 2 schedule and you had to worry about the social distancing and other measures, but
it's amazing to have fans back in sports. I mean, and John, you and I are going to cover Bridgewater State's first football game in a couple of years.
Here's Besta on second down, and he'll slide.
Smart slide.
Bring up third down.
Yeah, John, you watch all the Division I broadcasts as well, and you say, oh, it's been 700 days since jump at the University of Wisconsin, 700 days since Enter Sandman at Virginia Tech. For Division III college football, it's been 700 plus days since they've played a game.
And of course, we will have the game on BTV, as Brian mentioned, a new playing surface, a new Bear Paw Pavilion. We'll show that off.
Absolutely. Brand new bright red end zones for Bridgewater State as well.
Besta throws. Nice diving catch there by Barlow. What a throw. What a catch there.
Great catch. I do want to see the replay here. Does it get his feet down? I saw the dive. Maybe the knee got in. That's actually going to be Festa's slide.
And this is what we've seen from Duxbury a lot tonight. We see them rushing up to the ball, but that may be just to kind of keep the BR substitutions at bay. As Besta throwing
screen
and getting rushed, and that's going to be all for nothing, basically, as the pass is going to be completed on the line of scrimmage.
Going back to your point, though, John, for the substitutions, if Duxbury does substitute, Bridgewater-Raynham will be allowed to make defensive substitutions. That's where you see an umpire. Well, it's not an umpire, it's called the umpire, one of the officials, of course, will come in and make sure that the ball isn't snapped. By the way, that nice diving catch there, a 15-yard gain.
On second down, pass is complete over to Anderson on the far side, gets the first down before getting wrapped up.
Looks like Eamon Abassi there. He really should have jumped to try to disrupt this pass. We'll see right here, 35 in red here for the Trojans. If he got up there, I don't know if he gets his hand on the ball, but it makes it kind of a trickier throw for Festa.
So a 3rd and 1. For the Duxbury Dragons, looking to add on to their 28-0 lead. Handoff's going to go to number 21, Devin Toby. Gets the first down, a few extra inside the 15.
Dragons pick up the first down.
I mean, we might start to be getting to a point here where the BR defense is just getting tired out from being on the field for so long, but there have been some bright spots as BR takes the time out. I mean, I look at players like number 9, Alexander Montelos, number 4, Zachary Victor, who did have an interception in the first half. There have been some bright spots here in a game where you look at the scoreboard and go 28-0, what's going right, but there have been some good things here for the BR Trojans defense.
Oh, absolutely. There's definitely some bright spots that you can take away. And John, going back to your point about maybe some fatigue. I mean, look at Duxbury's drives. First drive, 4 plays, touchdown. Next drive, 7 plays, touchdown. Next drive after that, 7 plays ended in the Victor interception. Then they had a 6-play drive, which resulted in a punt. 8-play drive, which resulted in a TD. And right now, the next play that Duxbury is going to run is going to be their 8th play. Bridgewater-Raynham doesn't have many long drives. Matter of fact, their longest drive, which was a couple of them, the longest drive was 8 plays, which ended in a punt. Every other drive's really been a 3-and-out for the Trojans. So, and you know, a lot of times, John, as you see it too in the high school level, there's two-way players, offensive and defensive. So you're going to get tired, and especially if your offense is only going to be out there for a handful of plays and your defense is going to be out there for 6, 7, 8 plays every single time, yeah, you're going to get gassed a little bit.
And some of the players for the BR Trojans did try and compare the coaching styles of Lou Pacheco and Gambiron, saying they're both disciplined. They both give us that regiment. They treat us the same like young men always, no matter if we're on the field, off the field, they're always kind to us. They're hardworking. They want us to work hard. That's what they're good at. That's why the teams are good, because they make us work hard. I have a long-standing tradition for the coaches here in Bridgewater. We talked about it at the start of the game, as that pass is going to be tipped away. But just the familiarity for a lot of these players who may have played for Lou Pacheco or some of these assistant coaches, maybe a sense of familiarity that could help out as these younger players continue on, because this is a team with a lot of sophomores.
Yeah, absolutely. You got a young team with a brand new head coach. I know there's familiarity, but still, when you get into a game environment, you're playing a team like the Duxbury Dragons, there's going to be some growing pains.
Inside 6 minutes to go here in the third quarter. A 2nd and 10 awaiting Matt Vesta and the Dragons. Vesta rolls to his left, going to throw this one for the end zone, and that is going to be caught by Grady Madigan for his 2nd touchdown of the night. And you can see there, it looks like he's favoring his right leg.
2nd touchdown for Madigan. Of course, he caught the 52-yard touchdown to start the game, and now a 15-yard touchdown right here for the Dragons to go up 34, maybe 35-0.
Sullivan is going to make it a 5-for-5 night for PATs. We put the Dragons in front 35-0. As we get some Zombie Nation here on a Friday night. And of course, you look at the Duxbury Dragons. We talked about a little bit about their issues as far as the off-the-field story that started back in March. We know about what happened involving their head coach, David Marin, who did get removed as head coach, replaced with Matt Landolfi. And Landolfi talked to the Patriot Ledger at length about becoming the head coach, and there were some interesting quotes here saying, "It was never my dream to be head coach, but after the scandal broke, I just wanted to be there for the players." And I'll talk a little bit more about this after this upcoming kick, but it sounds like this season for Landolfi and the Dragons isn't as much about winning and the success on the field, but maybe trying to help these players work through what happened over the past few years.
They're absolutely trying to right the wrong that was going on. And of course, we don't need to go really that far into it, but trying to fix an image. It was actually the first kickoff that they sent downfield in a long time.
Maybe the strongest kick of the night. This is going to be Marble, who had a very impressive kick return early on.
I'm going to go with the strongest kick was the one that ended up in the back of the end zone in the first half. Although it bounced a few times to get there, but still.
getting back to the point of Landolfi, he said they really thought it was important for his team to put a little bit of focus on the community, and a lot of high school football teams can either play a 7-game schedule or an 8-game schedule. He and the Dragons elected for a 7-game schedule. The bye week coming up on October 2nd. He's going to treat that as a community service day, where they break the players up into small groups going to different town departments, be it the rec department, council on aging, different charitable efforts to try and help them a little more, off the field and kind of give them that community aspect that maybe some teams do need here, maybe outside of what happened. Here on first down as Declan Byrne back out. He completes the pass to start off this drive to Braheny up to the 30.
Oh, geez, John, I just lost my sheets. This wind. Looking at Duxbury's schedule after this, they're home against Scituate and home against Franklin. That ought to be a great matchup. And home against Plymouth North. Then they go to Silver Lake, go to Hingham. Home against Whitman-Hanson.
Byrne completes to Braheny again along the far sideline. Brings up a 3rd and short.
Of course, on Thanksgiving, they play the Marshfield Rams.
The game against Scituate should prove to be interesting after what happened back in April when Fester went off for 384 and 3 touchdowns. Again, we mentioned the success this Dragons team has had dating back to around 2005, 2006, the undefeated seasons, a couple of state titles in there as well. And if this is the effort they're going to show, they may very well be on their way to another deep run.
This is big for the Trojans. I mean, just get any sort of points that you can get on the board. But it starts right here. You got to get the first down.
On a 3rd and 2. Byrne is going to get rushed, and he is going to get taken down by a couple of the Dragon defenders to bring up 4th down as the running process continues once again for a quarterback that is a sophomore.
All right, again, though, these plays are they're taking too long to develop. You had 2 receivers that were at the 45-yard line. You only needed 2 yards. I don't think you need to send 2 receivers to run 30-yard routes. So
as BR prepares for the next couple of games here, how important is it to try and figure out, the right balance between the protection but also getting those pass catchers, because there are a number of tight ends on this team, and I mean that could be really important how you strategize for the next couple of games offensively.
As we get a timeout by Duxbury, a little confusion on the punt coverage there, but you're right, John. I mean, you have a young team with a young quarterback, a new coach, and we said there's going to be growing pains, and it's going to be huge. And of course, I mean, yeah, this is a home game, but you see the Viking logo in the middle. It's not your field. It kind of feels like a road game. I mean, Duxbury, it doesn't matter either way. They knew they're going to be on the road anyways. But for the Trojans, I mean, you have the first game here at East Bridgewater, the second game most likely at Taunton. We don't know where the 3rd home game is going to be. It has to mess with your head just a little bit. You feel like you don't have a home stadium quite yet. I mean, hopefully in October they're going to have a home game. Maybe not. Hopefully Thanksgiving when Brockton comes to town. The field should be, the new turf should be done by then. But you have to wonder, maybe a lot of growing pains and you still don't quite have a home yet, John.
And, you look at the high school and, I mean, it doesn't exactly bring up the memories of back in the late 90s, early 2000s across the street at the old high school, but the Trojans Nation, that really gives the players a big boost in morale as this kick is going to take a bounce across the 40 and out around the 37. And also, there are a number of people that do tailgate outside. They have cookouts, and I mean, for the players, I'd imagine it's a big morale boost just to have the people around them that they're used to.
And it's huge, and Red Nation definitely came out to East Bridgewater to support. I mean, it's only, of course, one town away, but I mean, Red Nation, I mean, is one of the best traveling fan bases the South Shore has for high school sports, which obviously is going to be a huge boost, but still, again, you see that Viking logo and you go, I mean, I know we're home in air quotes, but we're on the road.
Vesta back out to work here with 3:12 to go in the third quarter. And Vesta is going to get rushed again. That was Mentalos, who was giving some good chase, but that pass is going to be complete to number 11, Ryan Smith.
Ryan Smith right there doing a great job coming back to his quarterback, knows that he's in trouble, comes back to him and gets a huge gain for another first down.
Again, Duxbury into BR territory.
18-yard gain there for the Dragons.
This time the give is to the running back Anderson, who's going to pick up a couple of yards. And it's easy to say that, yes, Duxbury is up by 5 scores, but it's the chunk plays that really stick out. And of course, you go back to that, what was it, a 52-yard touchdown reception, the first score of the night, but also you've had passing plays of 38, 28, 20, 19 yards. Obviously, the secondary is going to be gassed at the very least just from catching up to the pace of the ball.
Absolutely, and again, these are a couple plays. If you catch that, he did. Oh my goodness. Look at that throw. That is a perfect throw for Matt Vesta.
And the pass is complete to Brady Madigan, but Madigan appears to be in pain again.
Take a look at the replay here. I mean, just look at this throw. That is perfectly placed over the shoulder.
And on the touchdown, when Madigan caught it in the end zone, right after he caught it, he was favoring that right leg. And it certainly looks like, obviously, he's on the ground in pain.
I mean, also you saw that, I don't know if it really had much of a factor, but when he had to take a couple of steps, and when he landed, he didn't land on turf, John, he landed on track.
That's one of those subtle differences between this school and, well, many schools have tracks, but so they have been working on Madigan's right leg through a big bulk of the second half as play does continue on. This is going to be Anderson making moves inside the 15-yard line up to around the 11. At some point here soon, you'd have to imagine some of these starters. You think about Anderson, Madigan, obviously he was injured, but you know, you go back to Festa, Ryan Smith even. Do you start thinking about taking these players out, looking forward to next week up 35-0?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I mean, and you see a touchdown run right up the middle, untouched.
Devin Toby continues to pile on here for the Dragons to make it a 41-0 game with 1:15 to go in the third quarter.
I mean, right up the middle, untouched from 11 yards out. Great block from the Dragons offensive line.
Sullivan looking to keep his night perfect, and he does. Six for 6 on PATs.
6-play drive there for the Dragons.
So maybe on the other side of the ball here for the BR Trojans, do you continue putting Declan Byrne out there, who had a difficult time getting the ball down the field here? Do you just continue to look down the depth chart and see, you know, what do you have later on down the road? It'll be Marvel and Towers and Victor awaiting this kick. Again, Another strong kick that'll go into the hands of Mantalos, right from his own goal line, and BR will start out from the 20.
Trojans take the ball up to the 20-yard line. That'll be first and 10 from the 20. Starting up the fourth quarter of football.
So we move on to the fourth quarter here. After a little bit of confusion, but nonetheless, we do play on. And we mentioned earlier that BR did play in East Bridgewater. I want to go back to 2006 because it was a rainy day. And fun fact, this was actually the first game I actually assisted with the BTV crew. As you see, we had about 3 inches of mud. I think you add on to about 6 inches of rain that day. But this kind of gives you that old throwback style of football, straight up the middle, in the mud, diving.
I mean, best of luck to whoever did laundry that day. Really.
The scary thing is, all that mud started back in the on the first couple plays of the game, as that's going to be a run to Mantalos.
Now, John, tell the viewers the fun that BTV had at the end of the game.
Right. So as you see, there's a bunch of mud on the field, and there you see that is a Mantalos run. But yeah, you wonder how we got this really big truck. Well, the process actually started because our truck got stuck in that mud. As I said, this was the first game I actually helped out with BTV, and most of the crew had already left. And so how did I get to spend my Thanksgiving assisting that guy, Jeff Fowler, and his father, moving the old production van out of the mud? And we backed the van up, put it forward, backed it up, and did that for about a solid 5-10 minutes as, again, the clock is ticking down here, running clock in the fourth quarter. But we eventually left the van here in East Bridgewater, and when the tow truck came to pull it out, I think it actually started to pull the front axle out, and that was just kind of the final nail in the proverbial coffin for our BTV van. But on the bright side, East Bridgewater had a muddy field. They get this beautiful field.
Right.
We had an old van. After that game, we started getting a new truck.
And BR got the 27-0 victory in that game. And you may remember the next year was just a 2-year Thanksgiving Day series. East Bridgewater got the shutout victory at BR the following year. And then I believe right after that, BR went into a 2-year agreement with Randolph. Was that right after that? I believe it was.
Right, yeah.
And then they signed on with Brockton.
So yeah, don't take my story as what a normal day is like at BTV. We don't want to start driving potential volunteers away, but this is a fun time here at BTV, and as always, we do invite you to come on down, give us a call at the studio. Because honestly, a lot of the content that you do see on BTV and online, Facebook, Twitter, as well as, that's going to be carried there by number 4, Zachary Victor. But a lot of the content is volunteer driven. And again, you never know how far you'll go.
It's a fun time. I know if you actually listen to John and I before the game, you'd go, "Wait, these two hate each other," but we just do it out in good fun.
Yeah.
It's a great time. I mean, you go to our website, brand new website, by the way,
Yep.
btvaccess.com. Check out our new layout there. Email us if you're interested in interning, volunteering. You get to do some cool events like this.
And we talk about some of the things we go to, as Burns going to air this one out and right out of the outstretched fingers of DeAndre, who's gotten a few good looks here tonight. But again, getting back to some of the things we do. I mean, we go down to assist a Division II tournament, and We've done Division II national tournaments, Division III national tournaments. We did a couple of BR Super Bowls in Gillette Stadium.
That was awesome. Get the free cookies and drink and all the free food. I mean,
clam chowder was.
Oh my goodness. I mean, I think the coolest event that I have actually done here was USA Japan Baseball. We did at Campanelli Stadium. To do an international sporting event, that's awesome. Not many people get to even experience that, but to actually work behind the scenes on that was an amazing experience.
Burn had a little more time here in the fourth quarter, and he completes to DeAndre for the first down. There was one game that we did in Brockton at Campanelli Stadium. As you're going to see this nice pass from Byrne to DeAndre. There was a nice play that actually ended up in the Sports Center SC Top 10.
And we've had a couple of our clips end up on Sports Center. And the FCBL All-Star game that we got to cover. Scott Olson on the call. You heard a Scott Olson call on Sports Center in the top 10. It's always a great time to cover Bridgewater-Raynham events, Bridgewater State University events.
Surveying the field, completes it to DeAndre right in the middle of the Duxbury defense as we go inside of 6 minutes to go.
Look, I know you're down 42-0. It's garbage time. That was a tremendous play from Byrne because he looked at multiple options that he had there, surveyed the field, and found a wide open receiver in the middle. Those are little plays that you go in the film room and you go, that's what I want to see. That was a phenomenal play.
Sorry, is that something that Lou Pacheco and the coaching staff maybe emphasizes on a little more, maybe more than what happened in the first half? Because it was a rough first half, obviously, a rough 3 quarters. But you look at this fourth quarter and maybe pick out the right plays for Byrne and say, you know what, you did a great job on plays like this where you hold on to the football, but still you beat 5 defenders from Duxbury going by.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you look at plays like this, there's still a lot to learn. Even though, like I said, you're down 42-0, there's still a lot to learn in what you can do. And now BR is opening up their playbook here a little bit, trying to air it out a little bit more. That's what I want to see a little bit more from BR. And, of course, you have a sophomore quarterback. You don't want to overwhelm them right from the get-go. You're playing easy. It's going to be a Super Bowl contender here in Duxbury. They'll be at Gillette Stadium, or a very good chance they'll be at Gillette Stadium. I mean, but going forward here, I mean, you played one of the best teams in the state. I don't care. I mean, I said in the division, they're one of the best teams in the state, John. And
Victor gets the carry, and Victor gets the first down across the 35 up to the 34 as we go inside of 4.5 minutes to go in the fourth quarter.
So the next play of this drive will be the 8th play, which will tie the longest drive that BR has had in terms of play in the plays the entire night. And sometimes you're seeing this right here. It's been a running clock for pretty much the whole fourth quarter, but the last few minutes of the third quarter as well. You're just playing loose. And I think this is what Lou Pacheco could tell his players, play loose. You may have been playing a little too tense. You're playing one of the best teams in the state. I don't know how many times I can keep saying that, but maybe you've been playing a little too tense. Now you've relaxed, you're airing the ball out, and look at how well of an offense this team really can be when you just relax a little bit.
I see Rulo getting wrapped up in the backfield. This brings me to my next point, because you look at this team, and I think you know where a bulk of the offense is going to come from. Obviously the quarterback position, but also Rubo, Braheni. You know those players are going to get a bulk of the looks as far as the defense goes. But as far as some of these other younger players go, as you start out over these first couple of games, how important is it to play well in these positions to try and find your spot on that depth chart?
Oh, it's absolutely huge. I mean, both teams are going to be using some players that maybe don't normally get a lot of playing time, and you want to prove something to the coach, you know? This is a game where you can easily say, all right, the game's over, your head, you just check out of it. But these are the plays where you look for the hustle. You look for the kids that are really trying to make an impression here. And you're the kids that are trying to finish the play out like we see right here.
Nice footwork. Braheni. Was that a catch? No.
They're going to say that he was out of bounds. I mean, but that's the play right there you're looking at. Like, you want to see who's making the hustle play, who still has their head in the game, who's still trying to play 110% right now. I mean, you know Byrne is right now.
as we kind of look at the layout here, East Bridgewater, it's kind of cool seeing the crescent moon just sitting up there over the nighttime sky.
Just chilling.
In FBR, we're used to having the Christmas tree farm at the end zone.
Yep, yep. I see, a little change of scenery.
And Byrne will get wrapped up and taken down. And again, we're unsure where BR will play their next home game. We'll certainly keep you posted on the Bridgewater Now updates, and I believe it's Taunton that they're going to play the next home game. And as you see the moon, you ask him, or you talk about it, there's a moon.
Look at that's a good zoom on that camera. You can see some of the craters on that thing.
That's a money shot right there,
That is a money shot right there. The slow pan out. Look at this.
See, if you volunteer, you can get shots like that.
Exactly.
Going inside the final minute here in East Bridgewater. Byrne gonna throw it. He gets hit hard, but DeAndre with a foot on the sideline. And we do want to acknowledge the crew here in East Bridgewater. Besides us, we do have Mark Dean, Mike Moriello, Mary Evers, Patrick Evers.
A lot who will be around tomorrow as well for Bridgewater State.
Make sure you wake up in time to join us.
I mean, when I found out that it was a 1 p.m. kickoff, that was great. I had a little extra hour of sleep.
So again, our thanks to the people in East Bridgewater making us feel at home here with BR as a home team, but it is Duxbury getting the season opening 42-0 victory here tonight over the BR Trojans. Brian, we talked about it at length. We can kind of touch on it one more time. This game, there's going to be a lot to look at here that you don't want to look at, but the second half, there were some signs of hope that this season could be one to watch here for some of the younger players.
Yeah, absolutely. When the Trojans started opening up that offense there in the fourth quarter, it makes you want to see more of it. I think Bridgewater-Raynham should do more of that. And I know we said, look, they have some young players, all right? You're not going to get too complicated when you have a young team, especially with a brand new coach, all right? You're not going to go crazy like that. But you know that this team is capable of doing that. So you want to see, of course, naturally you want to see more of that too. But I mean, you have to give hats off to Duxbury. I mean, the players of the games, I think, for them, I mean, I always like to give it to the big guys up front, the offensive and defensive line. They controlled the game the entire time. Look, I know Matt Festa had one heck of a game. 3 passing touchdowns, a rushing touchdown as well. I mean, the guy balled out tonight. I mean, if you're going to give it to one single player, yeah, it's Matt Festa, but to a group of players, it's got to be the offensive and defensive line for the Duxbury Dragons.
So the final score for the final time here tonight in East Bridgewater, 42-0 Duxbury over the BR Trojans. For Brian Berard, I'm John Luck. Thanks for watching.
Thank you.